Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet one of the most successful entrepreneurs I've ever had the privilege of calling my friend. The great Tim Conkle is in the studio. You'll hear his story next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, every once in a while you meet that person who comes into a room and the room completely changes. And that describes my next guest. I've known him for 7 years. We're in a forum together in EO, that's Entrepreneurs Organization. And he's always the life of the party. He's never at a loss for words. He's my friend, and he's one of the most successful people I've ever met. The great Tim Conkle is in the studio. He's the founder and CEO of The 20. Thanks for coming on the show.
Wow, thanks for having me. I hope I can live up to that intro.
I'm going to ask my producer to have their hand on the bleep button because Tim has been known to throw out a cuss word. So, Tim, let's start at the beginning. Where were you born and raised?
Wally, Texas.
Okay.
So lived there until I went in the military in 1987.
And have you always been the way you are now? I mean, your brain just works faster than anybody I've ever met.
Yeah, I would say so. I had a really cool mix in a mom and dad. And the mix was my dad was a true business builder. My mother was a true salesperson. So I don't know why, but they put both of those things in me, and it's just worked.
And you've never met a stranger, so we'll be out having dinner, and he'll be charming the wait staff. I mean, everybody loves Tim. Your mind must be going a million miles an hour.
It does. But to me, I just see people as people. I love people. And so it's super easy to make another human being smile. Mm. And you don't know where they are in life, what's going through their head, but for a split second, you can take them to a new place.
Yes, and he's become very successful in the IT world. He has a large company, and we're going to describe that in a minute. But Tim has a great video team. They shoot videos about all of their leaders, and I found Tim's video, so let's go ahead and share that with the audience.
Tim Conkle, CEO of The 20. I have been around this joint since 1992. So typically day to day, I'm dreaming. I'm a visionary. I'm all about magic. I don't have an ego. I don't have to do everything. I'm more of the dreamer. I dream the stuff up, and that's where we go with it. And then I look at acquisition targets, take them to LOI. I hate to say run the joint because I really don't. I'm here though. Hard question. Have I always wanted to do this? Yes, run a business. I mean, all my brothers, my dad, my uncles, everybody owns businesses. So I always knew I wanted to own a business. Wasn't sure what it was gonna be. But I fell into this kind of on accident. But I wouldn't trade this industry. I love this industry. I love the people in this industry. Now they're weird, but they're my kind of weird. So it's really, really good. Favorite thing about working at The 20 is the people. I mean, the people are incredible, right? So I love it when we have parties or get-togethers or town halls, get to see everybody. It's the people that make it work, right? Without all of you, doesn't really matter. Downtime, I travel the world. Love history. So, I mean, you want to get me in my element, put me somewhere where there's stuff that's 1,000 years old and a couple plaques, and I'm reading everything. So I love history, I love traveling, I love seeing things, love spending time with my grandkids and my kids. Two truths and a lie. I'm married to the CMO at the 20. She's really pretty. I don't know if you know her, but she's pretty. And I'm married to her. I have a cat, and I was once a preacher. So that's my two truths and a lie. Let's see if you can get that one. Cool.
So I know you so well. You did not have a cat.
I did not have a cat. Now I did get, well, it's not mine, but when I married Crystal, she came with a cat.
Okay.
And so, but it's not mine.
Okay.
She'll tell you it's not mine.
And you weren't lying about being a preacher. You were a preacher.
No, I've preached to 10,000 people.
Wow. Now, does that help you with your stage presence? I mean, when you look back on your career as a pastor, how does that shape you?
I think it gives you goalpost.
Yeah.
I know where to stop on the left and the right. And preaching was cool because you got to affect a lot of people. Kind of like building my business right now and bringing other people in to participate in it. How do you affect people?
Yes.
Because that's really, if you really want to know what makes Tim happy, it's affecting people.
Mm. And he was not lying about his beautiful bride, Crystal. And so I would be doing the audience a disservice if I didn't introduce you to her. So Here's Crystal.
Hi, I'm Tim Conkle, Chief Marketing Officer for the 20. I've been with the 20 for 6 years now, and I previously worked for our MSP, Roland Technology Group, 12 years ago, and that was later rebranded to the 20 MSP. I lead and strategize all of the marketing initiatives for the 20, including brand development, public relations, demand generation, and digital marketing. So I knew from a pretty young age that I wanted to pursue a career in marketing or advertising. I always loved the creative side. I interned at an ad agency in high school and I loved it. While it was a great experience, I wanted to venture out and work on the corporate side. So I started my career at Hewlett-Packard, loved that, worked for several other large corporations, and then I started and sold a marketing agency. And what I learned is that I love working on the corporate side and focusing all of my efforts on one company. But I've always loved marketing and I very much enjoy what I do. My favorite thing about working for the 20, and I'm sure you'll hear this from many others, is the people. Aside from that, it's incredibly exciting to play a pivotal role in a super high growth company that's making its mark on the industry. I absolutely love to travel. I have an incurable case of wanderlust. I love Pilates. I enjoy spending time with friends and family and trying new restaurants. Two truths and a lie. Number one, I've been to 48 countries. Number two, Tim and I have 4 dogs. And number 3, I have 3 degrees.
All right, I give up. Which one was the lie?
Crystal's lie was definitely that we have 4 dogs. My lie was a cat. But if you look at it, cats and dogs don't mix typically.
Well, you two complement each other so well. I've had a chance to get to know Crystal fairly well from some of our annual gatherings. What is her brilliance? What does she bring to the company?
Ooh, I always like to call it magic. Her magic is ultimately brand. I mean, she just knows how to build a brand. She knows the people element side of it. She knows all the pieces. She's a maestro at brand recognition.
And you were telling me before the show that she's done wonders for social media and the videos, and that's all Crystal.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's 10x to my social media.
Wow.
In probably the last 12 months.
Wow. Well, you are really the best known guy in your entire industry. And one of the things that you do is you have this conference, a huge annual conference, and then I think some quarterly conferences.
Yeah.
We've got some video from, I think, last year's big event. And I want you to narrate this for us. So do you always hold it at the same place, or where do you guys you move it around?
Always in Dallas. Always in Dallas. But we've moved it around. I mean, when we were smaller, we had it at Hotel Zaza.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Then we went to the W, and then we've had it at the Omni downtown. At the Omni downtown, I mean, we're on the building. So I had so many people call me and said, dude, your company name is on this Dallas skyline. And that was all Crystal. I mean,
That's so cool.
I could have never thought of that. But the conference brings a lot of industry-specific people to it, and with the ultimate goal of helping them grow their company and then purchasing it.
Wow. And I had the privilege of being on your stage a couple of years ago. And,
You did.
And there's some great energy in this room. But Tim is the star. You really are. And I think you bring out the best in people. We're kind of in the final 2 or 3 minutes of the show, so I want to give them some news they can use. You've built this wildly successful company. Do you consider it luck? Do you consider it skill? A little bit of both? How did you get to this point?
Yeah, I don't think it's luck. I think it's anybody who knows me will tell you I hate friction.
Yep.
So the IT space is such a friction space, especially not that we can make computers talk to each other and all that stuff. That's table stakes. The business side, because most MSPs or IT companies are built by an engineer, which means what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
And you need a real business guy to really the business side to make it cohesive. Because historically, our goal has not been the same goal as the customer. And that's probably our claim to fame. We aligned our goal to the customer.
I want to ask you a question. I wasn't intending to ask it, but it's always fascinated me. You have this kind of aw shucks country boy twang. Do people underestimate you when they see you for the first time? Do they say, okay, well, this guy, he's probably the mechanic?
Always. They underestimate me until we get to the negotiating table. And then they're like, oh, shit.
I told you we'd need to bleep.
Yeah. they're like, where did the country guy go? Because I want to negotiate with him, not you. Yeah, it is.
Sure.
I'm from Texas. I've been here all my life, so I've got this accent. And it's funny because people either love it or they don't know. They're just like, is that real? Can somebody really talk like that?
No, it's refreshingly real. And Tim is like this when he's not on camera. I mean, you wake up almost like as a stand-up comedian. Some of the words that come out of your mouth just amaze me.
Which is a funny thought, right? When I was a little kid, my dream was to be a stand-up comedian.
Really?
Oh, 100%. I made everybody laugh. I would tell funny. The only problem is I grew up very religious.
Yes.
Which means my jokes were not the jokes that the people that were around me wanted to hear. I liked Richard Pryor.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Red Fox.
The greats.
And their brand of comedy was pretty brass at the time.
Why don't we leave it with some words of encouragement to the young entrepreneurs out there, or the people who are thinking about stepping away from their main gig and starting a company? What advice would you give to that person?
Never quit. Never quit. I mean, if you think about it, when I bought the company in 1992, 18 years later is when I hit my goal that I set when I bought it. It took me 18 years After the 18th year, all bets were off. I mean, you last 3 years, I mean,
Incredible. Yeah.
largest founder-owned, no P backing or anything like that, all backed by myself, largest MSP in existence.
Wow. Tim,
Crazy.
I'm inspired by you. Thank you so much for your friendship and sharing your heart with my audience. We're going to end with his website, which is the20.com. The great Tim Conkle. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.